Hello, Instagram. Happy Friday. We are at the end of the week, and I'm so excited for today's episode, the effects of narcissism into our inner power. I'm going to apologize right now. I feel like I've done that a lot this week, but I am not 100%. My throat, as you can hear, is not 100%. But I'm excited for this conversation once our guest arrives. Yeah, just gonna apologize now. I'm trying to talk. I got some tea, which does help it make it feel a little bit better, but I'll apologize for the horrible slurping sound because swallowing is very, very difficult right now. But I really wanted to have this conversation and continue this conversation, and I see our guest has arrived, so I will bring her on and then we can actually just get started.
You can't see me.
It's backwards, I don't think
it's... Okay.
There we go.
Here we go. Always something has to happen, right?
Yeah, I just apologize to everyone right now with my throat, but we're going to try and power through. I do have tea, which is helping, but
I hope it's not too hard on you.
I'll make it through. I have done very little talking. It's this whole side of my throat, which is just very weird. It's not this side at all. It's only the one side and like all the way up to here. But I don't look sick, which is the best part.
Yeah,
Cannot.
Amazing. That's a good thing.
So I would love to jump into this conversation, really talking about the effects of narcissism with our inner power and how it does affect the power and, how we show up. And I would love for you to come on and introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about who you are, and then we can jump in and dive right into this topic.
Sure. Thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure. So I'm pretty large. I think can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, because I will hear a bit of background. So I'm pretty large, and I'm a light and beat energy maker. So what does this mean? Mean that I work actually without energy, that we can create inner power, that we can become full, powerful women that can irradiate radiance and feel whole. So that's really, really my motto in life. That's how I live my life and try my best to live my life. And that's what I wish for every woman out there. And I think this is so important for everybody that went through narcissism or had a relationship with a narcissist, being either father, parent, which are very common, or sometimes even in romantic relationship. I think it is so important because inner power can be drained completely when we live with someone that is a narcissist. And I want to start by saying that I actually, there's a quote of René Brown about narcissism, and it's really looking narcissism through the lens of vulnerability. And basically, a narcissist is somebody that is full of shame and fear and lack of self-love. And this is very sad that they feel like that, but the way they behave is really trying to extract other people's self-love as well, to try to feed themselves. So I would like to start really with the point of view that I have a lot of compassion through who is a narcissist, because I believe it must be really hard, I don't know, but I have an experience with very closely relationship with somebody that's a narcissist, so I know what it feels on the other side, and I know what it can do at basically every level. So it's psychological, it's emotional, and it can be physical as well. And a lot of people forget that it can be physical as well, right? Because sometimes we feel so drained and for such a long period of time, and sometimes we forget to connect, and people just get out of everything, like I like to say, out of energy, and then later on that energy is translated into lack of power to put things out and make things happen. And this happens, and I think the biggest problem is exactly that it reflects on every part of our life. It's, for me, it's more than what we do, how we do one thing is how we do everything. For me, it's more than that. For me, is really what we are. It transpires on everything we do. And I have clients in business that they thought, oh, I have to do more courses, or I have to do more this, or I have to get extra certification. And that was not the problem at all. The problem was feeling nurtured inside, so that what they are transpires outside, and they can really have this business they dream of, and they know they have the ability, because some of my clients are extremely capable, intelligent women, beautiful, but there's something inside that is kind of telling them, oh, no. Because, and often this is because they heard that when they were children, and very often they keep looking for that in a relationship, in a romantic relationship.
Yeah, that was my 16 years inside of that toxic relationship, was all of those little voices and all those things. That's why it's, why I now do exactly what I do, because it's those pieces. It's not the next course, it's not the next strategy, it's not the next thing. It's you. It's coming back to your confidence, your self-worth, the stories that you are telling yourself that you are worthy of creating this life, creating this business, all of the pieces.
Yeah, and inner power is really about that. Is creating this energy that aligns everything. This inner power reflects out once you put these pieces together in a very, I like to describe it as nearly magnetic, like once the inside piece is there and they know their worth and they believe in their worth, because that's another piece. Sometimes people know it, like intellectually, but they still don't believe it from the heart, as I usually like to say. They don't believe it completely. They feel this little nagging in the corner, and they like, no, you have to do something else to get there. But once you put this piece there, then everything else starts to be magnetized, starts to fall in the right place, like a puzzle. It's like suddenly you start to see the image that you couldn't see before with all the pieces around. And I think this is beautiful. Whenever I see a woman going through this process as you described, like you felt something was missing, right? Like another strategy, another method. And strategies and methods are important, no doubt about it. But are maybe 20% of the whole game?
That's it. That's it. So much of what we do in every day is, even just moving through life is 80% how we are showing up. And that other 20% is, the strategic pieces of life. we don't have to even look at it from a business perspective, but the strategic pieces of life, moving through the things, going to get groceries, going to do this, going to do that, it is still how you are showing up is the effects of that relationship or that experience with narcissism moving forward. So how are you showing up now in your power? And we can talk about, how do you reclaim that power? How do you come back into your power? And
Exactly.
I can use me as an example because, I'm going first. I'm leading. For me, it was building that trust back with myself, because for so long in that relationship, I allowed myself to be in that relationship, that leaving, I didn't trust myself. I already stayed for so long. Why would I make any better decisions now? And real thoughts. These are real thoughts that have gone through my head. Even now, making all of the decisions in life, you question sometimes because, well, you allowed yourself to go down that path for so long before. So really coming back to who I am, looking at those deeper pieces. And the biggest piece for me, and it has been a game changer, is ignoring all of the outside pieces, all of the outside noise, not looking for, external validation anymore, but just moving forward, blinders on, my way, what feels good for me, and how I want to move and what I want my life to look like. And anything else that isn't a part of that is gone.
Loving that. Loving that. Absolutely loving that. Because what happened with me was really, I was born in a narcissistic home. So I didn't know anything else. This was what I knew. And I started to feel there's more here. Not everybody's like this. There's more there. But in the back of my head was always noise. Maybe you are not good enough. Maybe this is how things are done. And at one point, I got really even severely ill physically. And at one point, I made a very clear decision. That is, it doesn't matter who I am now, or where, or most importantly, where I came from. What matters is who I want to be, and who I want to be, not from what others say. It's similar to what you share. It's not what others say. It's really, who do I want to be in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years? Who do I want to be now in this moment? How do I want to feel now? Like, where is it now and where I'm going? And this was my turning point, going really from a situation where every doctor said I had no solution, to really turn the table around and just building everything, I was a researcher for a really long time. I got back to research. I was very successful. I started to build a tech business. At one point I said, no, I want to share this with others because this is so important. It's like rebuilding this inner power. It's so important. And I think it starts with from here to there. But I think there's another piece that is very, very important. The way I see it is like, if we are in the desert and we have a bottle of water, we find it super precious. And if somebody wants to go there and stick a needle in our bottle, we say, no way. However, with our own energy and our own inner power, if somebody sticks a needle, yeah, maybe there is a good reason, and maybe I'm not seeing the full picture. There are so many buts, ands, or in our heads. But when we are in the desert with one bottle of water, we say, absolutely not. This is pressure. We will not just make dots, needles inside, and then this will be flowing out without any use. And I think this is so important. It's like this concept of defining this border. Once we know who we are, who we want to be, even if we didn't get there. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship. It doesn't matter if you were a kid. It doesn't matter. What matters is who you are now and who you want to be.
We are very, very similar because I say this all the time. Your past is your past. Right now, you're in a moment where you get to decide who it is you want to be moving forward. You don't have to bring those experiences with you, but you get to use them as a foundation for who you want to be moving forward. And that bottle is, your energy, and how are you protecting your energy, and boundaries. What are you saying yes to that you really want to say no to? Where are you giving away your energy and it's not being reciprocated back? Where are you showing up and you're just like, oh, I don't want to be here, and it's draining? So many pieces that are overlooked because societal conditioning and all of these other pieces that come into play are, well, we're supposed to do this and we're supposed to do that and we're supposed to show up here and we're not supposed to say no because, well, this is family and we can't say no to family. I won't tell you how many times I've said no to family because now that I'm on this journey, because it didn't feel good and it was going to just feel draining, and my energy wasn't there to show up and honoring how I'm feeling without feeling guilty about saying no.
You just touched in such an important point in my view, which is I see people when they're working on their inner power, on regaining that power back, that they start doing it, but they lose it because they feel guilty. And I think what you mentioned there is so precious because it's the ability of doing it, feeling good with oneself. It's not only here, it's combining what you feel in your heart and what you feel in your body. It's combining these things together and doing it. I always say, do it with ethics, do it with love and compassion for people that are around you, but do it with respect, not only for others, but also yourself. Like, respect yourself, your boundaries, your needs, your wants. And it's more than I need to do this or I have to do this. I hear this so often. I have to do this. I need to do this. Okay, maybe sometimes we have to do things we are not so happy to. Okay, but what's the percentage of the time we do this? How often do we do this? What's the price of doing that continuously? Those are questions I always ask, like, what is the price you are paying for this? And would you pay this in a different situation? If it's not your well-being, if now we put the money, and your well-being is money on the table, how many coins are you giving? How much is worth it?
A lot of time we don't I'm going to say value ourselves enough, but I'm not sure if those are the exact words I'm looking for, but those are the words that are coming to mind right now. Especially as you say, what is this costing me? Well, if you were to put money on it, yeah, are you valuing yourself enough? Are you valuing the time and the energy that you are giving to this particular thing? Or are you not valuing yourself? Because it's still an exchange, and so often we look at exchanges as money and not energy, when money is energy and money is an energetic exchange. So it's being able to see all of these pieces and how they are affecting you. And when you are allowing those external circumstances to control how you are feeling, or the value that you are bringing, you are not showing up in your power at the same time because you are giving away to those external sources.
Yeah. And then it's a vicious cycle as well, because then you don't like how you're showing up. You don't like sometimes even how you look like, your physical way, like what's your radiance? How do other people perceive you? Way beyond if how is your nose or your lip or your makeup.
Oh, we froze for a second here. Hopefully we can come back. I've got a little circle thing going on.
Okay, I don't see anything.
Okay, I can hear you. You are just frozen on mine.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Okay. Here was everything fine. So I was just saying, like, it's a vicious circle then, because you're not showing up, because you don't value yourself, and because you're not valuing yourself, you even devalue even further and say, oh, I cannot do this and this, what I desire to do. And then what you put out and what you perceive and what others perceive about you, and you feel that because people feel that. I would say everybody feels that, but I would say most women completely feel that. And then they blame whatever the clothes and the makeup and the hair and the nails and all of that. And very often that's just another excuse we try to use from ourselves as well. Because here's the issue, it's we are using those excuses for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we are saying, oh, we don't look good online, or we don't look good in pictures, or it's nothing about that. It's how we feel inside, that is, and how we are afraid of being perceived. This is what I call radiance.
That's the big piece, is your fear of how others perceive you. And in that, you are giving away your power. When I wrote this out because it's kind of something I'm moving through right now, is my I don't give a fuck era. And it's the nicest way I can put it, because that's literally what I'm calling it. But I am who I am. And if you don't like that, well, that's on you. And in owning that piece, I show up here with little to no makeup, sometimes no makeup. It depends on my mood for the day. I don't wear a lot of makeup anyways. This show, I've had a filter on, I think, once, because it's being able to step into I don't have to impress anyone. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. And if you don't like that, that's not on me. That's on you, because you are seeing me from your level of perception, not mine. And that's when we all really get to come back in and own our power, bring back that inner power. And that is the confidence that, you see these women who walk into a room and everyone stops and stares. It's not because of what they're wearing or how good they look. It's because they are owning their fucking power and who they are and what they bring to the table. And that is the I don't give a fuck era, because your perception of me is not my problem. Your perception of me is your problem. If you don't see through your realm of vision, through your lens, what I bring to the table, that's on you, because I know what I bring to the table. And this is the energy that all of us women need to step into and grow from. And it is magic. It is powerful. And it is that inner radiance of coming back to it, trusting, building up our own confidence, and not worrying about all the other things.
Even if we worry, knowing our value, it's not about how how others perceive us, it's how we perceive ourselves. As you said, I don't care because I know what I bring to the table. I know what I bring to the table. It's very clear to you. So no matter what mine and the other person judge, you know what you bring to the table. Mm-hmm. That's it. And it's so light.
It's funny. I'll share this because I caught myself in it a couple weekends ago. Anyways, I was getting ready to go to my son's, and you guys, this is the human experience. We still have moments, but it's in that self realization and awareness that we get to catch ourselves in those moments and come back to what it is we know we are moving towards. So I was getting ready for my son's hockey. I think it was a game because I wouldn't have gone to his practice. It wasn't my week, and I caught myself putting makeup on. I'm like, oh, I look like shit. And then I stopped. I'm like, wait a second. It's a fucking Sunday. Why am I putting makeup on to go to a hockey game full of people I don't even know to what? Impress them? I really don't give a fuck. And I came back to that because that is what I'm going through right now. My I don't give a fuck era. And I remembered who I am. And I don't need to impress anyone in this hockey. It's a hockey game for a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. Coming back to it. But I got caught up in that mindset for a split second of, well, I need to make sure I look good and blah, 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 blah. I really didn't.
You know, and it's okay because we all go through that. The important thing is how we deal with that. What's the tool we have? Do we have the tool of compassion and we use and we become aware, oh no, that's not the direction I want to go. And you just move to the parallel road and say, no, this is the one I choose, instead of the punishment tool, which we see that very often as well, where you punish yourself, oh, you did this, and I thought you were better than this already, and blah, blah. No, just use the tool. Okay, you had a detour, okay, no problem, but that's where I want to go, and this road is much nicer because I can see the trees and it's so pleasurable, much nicer than the other road. So why not take this one? Even if I had a little detour, it's like we are driving, right? We are driving. Oh, some roads are nicer than others, so let's choose one we like to go to the destination we want, right? And that's what we need to do. And if we want to look, I'm the opposite sometimes. I don't use a lot of makeup, but sometimes I like to make my makeup at home. And I was pretty young, and I was putting some makeup and just for Sunday in my PJs at home. It was long ago. And my sister was like, I don't understand you because you're putting on makeup. I was like 16 years old. You're putting on makeup and now you are in pajamas all day at home. I'm like, yeah, but I put makeup not for anybody else. I was putting makeup for myself. And then she was like, I really don't get it. But it was really like that. I was with 16 years old, I was putting way more makeup than now. And I was just doing it because I enjoyed it. I was staying at home in my PJs, doing whatever, comfy, but I looked how I liked how I looked. So it's okay. It doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want. There are no rules. There are the ethics rules, as I say. We have to be ethical and not harm others, and all those things are very strong in me, you know, like behaving in an ethical way for everybody, the best we can. But besides that, there are no rules. There are our own rules, and we choose the road, and with that, we choose the consequences as well. And sometimes the easy road is not the easy road. And that's something a lot of people forget, because especially with narcissism, when you lose your power, so when you actually, there are so many needles in your bottle that the water is draining all the time, even when you do your best to fill it in and it's draining all the time, that at one point there is not much left inside, no matter how much effort you put on it. And there is the moment we have to say and ask ourselves, is it really this I want? Is it really this that I want? Is this my choice? Because it's not being easy either. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions. I think it's not even misconceptions. It's this idea of our subconscious choosing for us.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's our subconscious that is choosing for us instead of our conscious choosing for us.
Yeah.
And we choose things because we got used to, and not because it's really the most efficient, the most pleasurable, the most beautiful road. Is because we got used
It's
to use it.
hard because your body gets used to that way of being treated and all of those things, and your nervous system likes consistency. So when you are used to that consistency, that's where you're gonna stay. And when you choose to leave and do something different, follow that different path, you have to rewire everything. And it seems harder because you are so used to that consistent state of fight or flight. You are so used to being talked down to, being, mistreated behind closed doors, that now you're forging a new way that is healthier and you're happier, but your body's going through all of this turmoil trying to figure it out of, okay, this is new. No, I want to go back to the old. No, we want to be in the new. No, I want to go back to the old. And it's that constant, reminding of, this is where we're going, this is where we're going, this is where we're going on a conscious level, because your subconscious is always going to want to lead you back to the familiar.
Yeah. As I usually say, I say this like all my clients know this sentence because I say it so often. Your subconscious wants to keep you alive, not happy. And your subconscious just knows what keeps you alive, what you already experienced. And what you already experienced is what your subconscious knows that keeps you alive. It doesn't matter at all if you are damn unhappy, because it's not the aim of the subconscious. The aim of the subconscious is to keep you alive. If you're unhappy, okay, that's your work. The subconscious work is just to keep you alive. Your work is to progress, to evolve, to be happy, to be more whole, to be more complete, to be more fulfilled. And very often, we have to overcome what's familiar, what we got used to, what was our past experience. Because we will hear this noise, no, but we used to do these things in this way, or in that way, or this is too scary, too whatever, because we don't know what's coming. But this doesn't mean it's harder. It just means we don't know. And subconscious doesn't like that. Subconscious likes keep you alive, no matter what the consequences are. As soon as you're alive, I'm doing my job. Okay, I'm happy with my job, you are alive. But we want more than that. We here as a whole, we want more than that. We want to be happy. We want to feel whole, complete, fulfilled. We want to feel this energy that we can do whatever we want, to feel this enjoyment, to have this pleasure in the little things. In the little things, sometimes are the little things, but the little things are different from what we got used to. And I think this is something we so often forget. So often, because it's not the automatic program. We need the new software. As you said, you need a new path in your nervous system, in your brain. We need a new software. And a new software, yes, sometimes it can be buggy. We know this. And we have to adapt because things sometimes are in a different place. And that's not really what we got used to. But sometimes it's really great. Are we missing this opportunity? Those were the questions I asked myself. And sometimes I still have to ask because life sends us, is questioning us all the time. Are you sure you really want this? Really? All the effort, I was somebody, I would never speak in public. I would be shaking. Like, really? Do you really want to go and that your face is seen and your voice and whatever, and you're dyslexic? Oh my God, you're dyslexic. You will mix up words and you will forget them. And maybe you mix up different languages. Who cares? Really, who cares?
Hey, I mix up words and say things wrong all of the time on here.
Yeah, me too. But now what I realize is people even find it funny because I sometimes mix even languages. And like, I can't remember in one language, I say it in a different language. And if people understand it, sometimes I see it in their faces, no, that's not a language they understand. So I look for another way. What's the problem? Is this that is a real barrier for me not to be fulfilled and not feel realized? No, it's a fear. Of course, we all have them. We all have buckets of fears. If somebody thinks there's nobody without fear, no, we all have buckets of fear. The issue is how do we deal with them?
How do we move through?
How we move through. And I think another point important here, especially for people that are in a narcissistic environment, no matter what, is, are you allowing other people to use your fear to deplete your energy? Because this is a very typical narcissistic strategy. Like, use your fears that you already have into, actually, I was about to say their favor, but it's nobody's favor, actually, because it's just depleting energy. Because nobody is a no gain instead of a gain situation.
But they use it and they use those fears that you have to keep you in, to keep you there with them so that they can keep feeding off of you and your energy. That was, yeah, experienced that right here for a very long time.
I experienced that too. So it's really like nitty-gritty, picking up whatever they need so that you keep playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we have to come back. Is this the game I want to play? Is this the game I want to play? Is this what brings me joy? Joy is something very deep in me. Like, fun and joy is something very deep in me. If I don't feel it, I know something has to be adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
Something needs some adjustment. And I think for everybody that has been in a narcissistic environment, these are easy tools to do a reevaluation, like very fast, very easy. Like 80% of my time, how do I feel? How do I feel? Do I feel energized? Do I feel fulfilled? Do I feel joy? Do I feel fun? Or do I feel fear, depleted, scared, fear of aggressivity, of pain, of whatever, mentally, emotionally, physically, because it comes in all flavors, right? So this is such an easy tool that people can use. Like, how is my bottle? How is my level of water inside? Do I feel safe? But more than that, do I feel joy? Do I feel fun? Do I feel that I'm full of this energy that I can share with others? Or do I feel I have to do it because I'm supposed to do it? But I really, really just want to curl in the corner and nobody speaks to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I think fun and joy are so easy thermometers of any relationship, of our relationship with ourselves, first and foremost. Like,
It's that level of self-awareness of how am I truly feeling and being really honest with yourself in those moments. And they're hard moments. I was in those moments. You've been in those moments, but it's in those moments that you get to choose, I'm no longer living like this. And it's hard. It sucks. It's not easy. It's not an easy decision, but you get to choose. And I love your analogy with the water bottle, because I keep kind of thinking about that. You know, you've got all those needles and all those holes, you know, filling or pouring out of the bottle, and you just keep pouring in, pouring in, pouring in, trying to recoup your energy, and it's just never there. That is the narcissistic relationship. It's just never there. And that is why I do what I do, because my business could not succeed. I couldn't pour into my clients and into my business because I was too busy constantly trying to pour into me and keep my energy levels there, and all of the other things, my mindset, my nervous system, it just wasn't a possibility. I was too busy protecting my own energy, and it was still overflowing out and pouring out the hole. So you can choose that path of hard, or you can choose the new path of hard, where you get to fill up your bottle and it gets to stay, and you get to emerge however long it takes. You know, I'm 2 years out as of December, and it's still a work in progress. I'm still learning pieces of me that need healing. I'm still having moments, but I get to learn from those moments and learn from those experiences and choose the hard that I want to choose. I can sit in self-pity and, you know, doubt everything I do, or I can come back to the strong woman that I know I am and rise up, take my moments to be in the shit, and then grow from there. And that's where we get to own our power and own who we, not only who we are, but who we want to be.
So true, so true. Who we want to be, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel it. It's even good to feel it. Do you feel it? Great, feel it completely. But don't get stuck into it. This is the difference. Is feel it, yes, feel it fully, you know, deeply. Cry. Curl in the corner if you need to, in your bed, stay there for whatever time you need. But at one point, no, this is not who I want to be.
No,
It's
I
okay
give
to
24
feel this.
hours. I give 24 hours. I'll tell my clients if they're moving, because like a lot of my clients, these are the pieces that we move through. You know, everyone thinks it's not the strategy, it's these pieces of moving through. And I will tell my clients, it's good. Go cry, go scream, go do whatever you want to do. But tomorrow morning when you wake up, that shit's gone. So get it out now, because we're not moving forward with it. We get those 24 hours to feel the things, sit with a tub of ice cream, binge watch something, cry, whatever it is you need to do. But come tomorrow morning when you wake up, that shit's gone. It's the past. We are no longer that version. We are not going to be upset over something that we ultimately have no control over.
Yeah, exactly. And what you mentioned, it's so important, because we are there with ice cream. But do we want to eat ice cream all the time? Or do we need veggies as well? I know they are not so tasty, but what's the long time effect?
Now, I will share this with everyone because it's something that I've been doing. I have been having ice cream. I love ice cream. It's a bad thing. But instead of ice cream some nights, I started actually cutting up a banana, and then I put some peanut butter on it, and then I put some hemp hearts on top of that. And it's such a better, healthier snack over ice cream, and it is so delicious. And I normally don't like bananas and peanut butter. Like, that's one thing I never really liked, but this, for some reason, I love it.
Yeah, it's the quality of what we choose. Is exactly the same. Is exactly the same. Is a way of nourishing ourselves, and what the value we give ourselves to decide how we are nourishing ourselves. It really depends on that. Because for a long time I did things with food and nutrition and things like that. And I realized many people don't start with diet. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the diet itself unless it's not balanced. Mm-hmm. It has to do with the value that people feel. And then they want to fill this hole with something. And that's okay sometimes. And it's great if we can swap for banana with peanut butter, which is great. I love also frozen bananas. and then just put them in the blender frozen, and they get really this creamy ice cream texture. It's really great. I do that with a lot of fruit. So it's great. So I want ice cream. Can I choose a best version, a higher quality version that fulfills what I want to feel at that moment, but still will not have long-term effects, or long-term effects that I wish, not that I will not like some extra kilos on my waist, that then I'm not too happy. So is there a way that we can combine both things? Is there a way? Yes, we try. Okay, it belongs to the game. You know, it's like, I think very often we punish ourselves because we feel unhappy. And being happy or unhappy is exactly the same, is two sides of the same coin. And they both belong to life. There is absolutely no problem on being unhappy. The problem is, for how long are you unhappy, and for how much time in your day do you feel unhappy? Like feeling unhappy belongs to life. Feeling miserable belongs to life. But what's the percentage in your day? How many days you feel what? Are you in a situation that makes you feel unhappy all the time? This is the question. This is the question. And the next question is, what are you gonna do about it? That's the scary question. Are we going for frozen banana with peanut butter? Or are we going for jugs of Tom and Jerry's and cookies and cream and whatever? And there's nothing wrong with that. But for how long are we gonna do that? That's the tricky.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's why you get your 24 hours, you wake up the next morning and it's done, because you don't get to, we don't carry it on. We're not going to keep trying to control something that we have no control over. And I love that piece, because a lot of people ask me, I move through things very, very quickly. And that's how I do it. I allow myself to feel the things, feel all of the things, cry if I have to cry. But I pick myself up in the morning and I keep going, because I can't change what's happened. I can't change someone else. I can't change anything that I don't have control over, but I have control over me. And that is your power. So with that, if you have anything else to say for today's
episode. I think you finished beautifully, because it's really, we have the power inside, and it's how we deal with ourselves that will fill up the bottle or drain it. And once we have it, it's all we need, because we are beautiful and complete.
Exactly. Thank you very much for joining me today. I wish I could have talked a little bit more and sounded a little more enthusiastic, but I'm smiling on the inside.
You were beautiful. You were beautiful. Thank you so much for having me here. It was so much fun. I think even if it's such a hard topic, I think it was so much fun. And I hope it's of so much use for so many other people.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who joined in. If you're catching the replay and you want to share anything in this conversation, please drop it in the comments. We are here to join in the conversation. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys back here on Monday. Bye.
Bye-bye.